I wish I could turn back time. I wish I could go back to the moment when everything started unraveling, when one mistake tore apart not just my marriage, but my family. I could have done so many things differently. But I didn't. And now, I'm left picking up the pieces of a life I once thought was perfect. This story isn't just about a woman who cheated. It's about love, regret, and the consequences of actions that you can never take back. It's about how one moment of weakness can destroy everything you've worked so hard to build. And it's about the intense emotional toll that follows when you have to live with the aftermath. I never thought it would happen to me. I never thought I'd be the one to break my husband's heart. But I did. And I will tell you exactly how it happened. I met him when I was young, fresh out of college, full of dreams, and filled with naive hope that love could solve everything. At the time, he was everything I wanted. He was my safe haven, my protector, the one who made me feel like I was finally home. We built a life together, a family, a home. For 30 years, we stood by each other. Through thick and thin, we always found a way to make it work. But then, the cracks started to appear. You see, I loved him. But there was a part of me that felt unfulfilled. I felt invisible. I wanted more. More attention, more passion, more excitement. Life had become routine, and I found myself longing for something different, something thrilling. That's when he entered my life. He was a new face at work, a colleague who had a way of making me feel seen, something I hadn't felt in years. At first, it was harmless. A few friendly conversations, harmless flirting. But then it escalated. Little by little, I gave in. I told myself it wasn't that serious. I convinced myself that I could control it, that it would never go too far. But deep down, I knew. I knew I was crossing a line. One night, after an office party, things happened. I don't want to go into the details. Trust me, I don't need to relive it. But I crossed that line, and I knew immediately that I had made a terrible mistake. That feeling of guilt, shame, and betrayal washed over me in a way that I can't even describe. I wish I could say that I stopped there, that I realized my error and ended it, but I didn't. I let it continue. It wasn't until months later, when I came home one night and saw the look in my husband's eyes, that I knew. He knew. I don't know how, but he knew something wasn't right. The silence between us became unbearable. The tension was thick. And then one day, he confronted me. He asked me, point blank, if I had been unfaithful. I couldn't lie. I couldn't deny it. I told him everything, hoping that the truth would somehow set us free. But instead, it shattered everything. His anger, his hurt, the betrayal, it was all there, raw and unfiltered. It felt like a physical blow to my chest. I could see it in his eyes. The man I had spent 30 years with was now a stranger. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part came when he started asking questions. Questions I couldn't answer. He wanted to know how I could betray him, how I could throw away everything we had, and I couldn't give him a good enough answer. The guilt crushed me, but so did his anger. For months, we tried to work through it. He wanted to forgive me. He said he did, but it wasn't the same. Every time we tried to get close, every time we tried to rebuild what we once had, the ghost of my mistake hovered between us. It was like an invisible wall that neither of us could break through. We were stuck in this painful loop of trying to heal, but never truly getting anywhere. I thought it would pass. I thought the anger would subside, that we could get back to the life we once shared. But I was wrong. His bitterness festered, and over time it started to consume him. The trust we had built was gone, and with it, a part of our marriage. And that's when the real damage began. It wasn't just about me anymore. It wasn't just about the betrayal. It was about everything. The years we had spent building this life together, the family we had raised, the love we thought would last forever. Every argument, every disagreement, every little thing we fought about became magnified. I could feel it slipping away, and there was nothing I could do to stop it. But even worse than the damage to our relationship was what it did to our family. Our children, who had always seen us as the perfect couple, were caught in the middle of our mess. They saw the tension, the sadness, and the distance between us. They saw their father, once a loving and devoted man, now distant and angry. They saw me, the woman they had always looked up to, struggling with guilt and regret. Our home, once a place of warmth and love, became a battlefield. There were nights when I would lie awake, staring at the ceiling, wishing I could take it all back. I would think about the man I had betrayed, the family I had hurt, and wonder how we got here. How did I let one mistake ruin everything? And then, there were days when I saw the anger in my husband's eyes, and I knew that no matter how hard I tried, it would never be the same. His hurt had turned into resentment, and that resentment had turned into bitterness. He couldn't forgive me, not fully. And I couldn't blame him. As time passed, things only got worse. Our communication broke down completely. We were two strangers living in the same house, sharing the same space, but completely disconnected. I watched as he withdrew more and more, retreating into himself. The man I had known for 30 years was no longer there, and I couldn't fix it. It wasn't until a year later that I realized just how much damage had been done. I saw him standing in the kitchen, and for the first time in a long while, I saw the pain in his eyes. It was like a punch to my gut. I realized then that it wasn't just about what I had done to him. It was about what we had lost, what we would never get back. I can't tell you how much I regret what I did. I wish I could take back that one night, that one mistake, and erase the hurt I caused. But I can't. And the hardest part is knowing that my actions have ruined the one thing I valued more than anything in this world, my family. I know I've caused irreparable damage. I know I can't change the past. But what hurts the most is seeing the life we built slipping away, slowly but surely. Sometimes I feel like we're just going through the motions, pretending everything is okay, but deep down, we both know it's not. It's been years since I made that mistake, but the scars remain. Not just on him, but on me too. The guilt eats away at me every single day. I think about how much I hurt him, how much I hurt our children. And even though I've apologized 1,000 times, it doesn't feel like enough. Words can never undo what was done. How could they? But even in the darkest moments, when the regret feels like it's suffocating me, I still wonder, what if? What if we could get back to the way things were? What if he could forgive me completely? What if we could find our way back to each other? I've asked myself these questions more times than I care to count. But every time I try to reach out, I am met with the coldness in his eyes, the walls he's built around himself. It's like he's a different person now. The man who once held me close at night, whispered sweet things in my ear, and made me feel like the most important person in his world, is now a stranger. And I'm the one who made him that way. The hardest part is seeing him, a man I spent 30 years with, become someone I don't recognize. He's angry, distant, and disconnected. He no longer laughs at the same jokes. He no longer asks me about my day. He doesn't look at me with the same warmth and love. Instead, he looks at me with suspicion and hurt. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know if it's even possible to fix it. Part of me wonders if it's too late, if all the years we spent together are now just a faded memory, something we can never get back. Maybe it's better to accept the reality that this is the new us. This is what we've become because of the choices I made. Sometimes, I wonder if the damage was inevitable. If somewhere along the way the cracks in our relationship were already too deep. We had grown apart in ways that were so subtle, so gradual, that neither of us noticed until it was too late. Maybe I was always searching for something that wasn't there. Some excitement, some passion. But I never thought about the consequences. I never thought about how a moment of weakness would cost me everything. And now, it's too late to take it all back. The damage is done, and there's no going back to the way things were. I can't undo my actions no matter how much I wish I could. The only thing left is to live with the consequences. I think about the family we once were, the way we used to laugh together, the way we supported each other. I think about how we raised our children, how we made decisions as a team, how we dreamed about the future. We were a unit, a family. Now, it feels like I'm living in a different world, a world where everything has changed and nothing feels the same anymore. What breaks my heart is knowing that this is my fault. I did this. I allowed this rift to form between us. I allowed my selfishness and my desires to overshadow everything we built. And now, I have to live with the consequences, day in and day out. I see my husband, my partner, my best friend, and I wonder if he'll ever look at me the same way again. I wonder if he'll ever forgive me, if he'll ever trust me again. The hope that he might one day heal, that we might one day heal together, is the only thing that keeps me going. But every day feels like a battle between what we once had and what we are now, a battle between my regrets and my desire to make things right. I don't know how to fix this. I don't know if it's even possible to repair the damage I've caused. But what I do know is that I can't keep living in this limbo. I can't keep pretending that everything is fine when it's not. I can't keep ignoring the elephant in the room, hoping it will just go away. I need to face the truth. I need to face the consequences of my actions and accept that maybe, just maybe, we won't be able to fix this. Maybe we'll never be the same again. But I can't give up. I won't give up. There are moments when I catch myself staring at him across the room, longing for the closeness we once shared. But I can't reach him. I can't break through the wall he's built around himself. I can see the hurt in his eyes, the silent pain that speaks volumes. And all I want to do is make it go away. But how do I fix something that's been broken for so long? I've tried. I've tried to be the woman he fell in love with. I've tried to show him that I am still here, still committed, still willing to fight for us. But it's like trying to hold on to sand. The more I try, the more it slips through my fingers. And then there's the shame. The shame that never leaves me, no matter how hard I try to push it away. I see our children growing up, knowing they've seen us fall apart. They know we're not the same anymore. And that kills me. I know they'll carry this with them, just like I will. I know they'll remember the way we used to be, and they'll wonder why things changed. They'll wonder what went wrong. I don't know how to fix this. I don't know if it's even possible to repair the damage I've caused. But what I do know is that I can't keep living in this limbo. I can't keep pretending that everything is fine when it's not. I can't keep ignoring the elephant in the room, hoping it will just go away. I need to face the truth. I need to face the consequences of my actions and accept that maybe, just maybe, we won't be able to fix this. Maybe we'll never be the same again. But I can't give up. I won't give up. What happens next? I don't know. Maybe we'll find a way to heal, maybe we won't. But I do know one thing. I can't live with the weight of my actions forever. I have to face it, I have to own it, and I have to learn to live with the consequences. And maybe, in time, we'll both find our way back. Maybe the love we had can be resurrected from the ashes of what's left. But for now, I'll continue to fight for what we once had, no matter how hard it is, no matter how many mistakes I've made. Because that's the only way I know how to move forward.